Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Thursday, August 28th, 2025. This is episode 951 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour, me, you, Kyle, Phil Stafford, Dennis Keefe, Dream Logic, Marcus Kyler, Sierra Montgomery, Space Tacos, and many more of the Simply Cyber community, including you, my friend, are going to be going through the top cyber news stories of the day, and I'll be doing everything within my power to go beyond those headlines and distill value out of it that can help you as a practitioner level up and absolutely eviscerate your job. And if you're a student or someone looking to break into the industry, you're going to get value from the show. I promise you. You might not see the value immediately. It's not like, oh, a 10 for 10 minutes and you get this like life-altering experience. It is the work. It is what we do. You will be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current on the industry? And this right here is what we like to call a banger of an answer. As always, every single day of the week has a special segment, and Thursdays are reserved for none other than our friend, Haircut Fish, Dan Reardon, who's on vacation right now, but still made it come together with What's Your Meme Thursday. So a very custom, very special, one-of-a-kind meme developed every single Thursday for this community. We'll be dipping into that at the mid-roll, having some laughs, having some simple minds, don't you forget about me, and just all in all, having a good time. What's up, CR? Getting those CPEs. T-Zod 1975. Todd Ballard watching live. Good to see you. Welcome to the party, pal. If today is your first episode with the Simply Cyber community and the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, holler at your boy. Hashtag first timer in chat. Drop a hashtag first timer. We have a special emote, a special sound effect, because it's all about community. It's all about good times. And it's all about, basically you. We want to recognize you, make the circle bigger, and just all in all say what's up. I see Jesse Johnson, aka the Cosmic Cowboy, aka currently on deck for a response video to one Tyler Ramsby calling him to the carpet. So definitely looking forward to that. It was brought back up last night on Daniel Lowry's IRL stream. If you caught Daniel Lowry's After Dark IRL stream last night, great stuff. Joe Hudson was the guest. Joe Hudson, an absolute treasure to our community. If you get a chance to meet that guy, absolute legend. Love it, love it, love it. Now, I want you to know, we have sponsors, okay? So some people who get here and they're like, just get to the news already. Well, you see these cool graphics, you hear the cool music, you see the TV thing, all of it costs money, right? This light, the platform I'm streaming from right now, and the stream sponsors are the ones who I have chosen to partner with in order to be able to deliver this content to you in what I would consider a pretty slick way. So let's take a minute and say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors. If you got a minute, slide down into the description and click on the links for the sponsors. They're there. I definitely have pre-vetted these sponsors. I would not take money from a company that I think sucks, which means by default, I don't think these companies suck. So let's say quick shout out and love to Antisyphon Training. Holy crap, Blue Team Summit was yesterday, so no need to tell you guys about this, but really quick, I attended some of Blue Team Summit. You guys came correct. That was essentially a Team SC summit. Am I right? For real, though, congratulations, Fleetus, Becky Gaylord, Devin. I saw so many Simply Cyber community members in there stepping into the light, taking the podium and sharing their knowledge, building, just their own network and relationships as well. Great value. Thank you to Antisyphon Training. As always, go to antisyphontraining.com to learn about their upcoming training they have on demand, as well as live training. And of course, Wild West Hackin' Fest still on the docket. I think the tickets are sold out for Wild West Hackin' Fest Deadwood, but if you buy training, you may be able to get a ticket. They do reserve some for the students who do training. I will be at Deadwood for sure. I'll be staying at the Grandview Mountain Lodge. I'll be speaking at Deadwood as well. So All about good times. Thanks to Antisyphon Training. Holla, holla, holla. I also want to say love to Flare Academy, guys. Flare Academy every month is bringing these bespoke talks to you free to check out. If you go to simplycyber.io, simplycyber.io/Flare, it'll redirect you to Flare Academy's upcoming talks. And I'd like to call your attention to the Russian Cyber Criminal Forum ecosystem, September 23rd. I am registered. I will be attending. Guys, listen, understanding how Russian cyber criminal forums work, this is where they exchange malware. This is where they talk about their next targets. This is where you find out that you've been compromised. All these things, right? Dude, you do not want to you do not want to be like Richie Cunningham in Mayberry. I know I'm confounding a couple shows here, but like you don't want to be like I don't know, man. Like if you're just like skipping down the road and you're like da 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 da. I love cyber. Hello, I'm Jerry from America. Can I hang out in this cyber criminal underground dark web, seedy underbelly? It's like going into Mos Eisley Cantina to sell flowers. All right. Quick Star Wars reference. Like you won't find, like, I'm not saying that Russian cyber criminal forums are full of scum and villainy, but my point is you wouldn't go there in real life, right? You wouldn't go to like a dark, dingy, scary alley. You wouldn't go to some kind of underground club that, there's weapons and stuff. Like, I'm not going to go to a cyber criminal Russian ecosystem thing. But you know what I will do? I'll attend a Flare Academy talk and learn all I can from the safety of my from my home. Yes, I know Richie Cunningham is the same actor that played the son in the Mayberry show, Andy Griffith. I just was mixing them up. Okay, I'm just Opie. Yeah, Opie. Just deal. Come on, CMIF. Don't. Like, let's just continue. All right. So, anyways, go to simplycyber.io/Flare and giddy up on that. All right. We'll talk about Barricade Cyber at the mid roll. Let's do 30 seconds with Threat Locker, and then we're gonna get into the news. Holla! I'll be in chat right now. Let's go. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right, here we go, everybody. Do me a favor. Let's call in the talking points. Talking points, come on down. Where are you at, talking points? There they are, coming in hot. All right, guys, sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us all in an awesome wave. I will see you all at the mid-roll. Let's cook. Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't know, man. Alarm bells should be going off as far as I'm concerned. This is a slow moving glacial issue. Dude, nation states with first world power cyber capabilities, and you don't have to be a big country with a huge GDP. There's no, hold on. Oh my God. Oh, okay. See, I was reading the story. Hold on. I see DJ BSEC came in here and told me I was an idiot. All right, here we go. Also, hey, I got to go to the Citadel, so it's going to be a hot one. Hold on.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
I mean, you guys didn't hear the music either. That's all right.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Thursday, August 28th, 2025.
Okay, come on. Like, listen. I'm sorry, okay? Well, hey, really quick, if this is your first time at Simply Cyber, consider yourself indoctrinated. We have audio issues from time to time. You know what? You'll always know that I'm not AI generated or a deep fake because AI wouldn't do that. It doesn't seem like a good idea. All right, here we go.
I'm Rich Straffolino. FBI warns of expanded Chinese hacking campaign. A joint advisory from Five Eyes allied security agencies, as well as the Czech Republic, Finland, the Netherlands, and Poland, warned that efforts by Salt Typhoon have expanded, now hitting at least 200 organizations across 80 countries. These attacks were allegedly aided by 3 private companies that provided services to China's People's Liberation Army and the Ministry of State Security. Part of the reason there was a wide spread of victims is that these companies were allowed to choose their own targets. While Salt Typhoon notably gained long-term access to U.S. telecoms, this advisory warned that the expanded attacks show a broad, indiscriminate targeting of critical infrastructure.
All right. Hopefully everybody got that. Everybody got that. Okay, so really quick, there isn't it isn't much to say here. Okay, like this isn't good, right? Hey, Fleetus posting the third with gifted subs. Thanks, Fleetus.
Did we just become best friends?
And if you're one of the people who just picked up those gifted subs, get into that emo tray and giddy up on it. Thank you very much. That's funny. Okay, so dude, China is a first world power. China has a first world power cyber capability. Know that you don't have to be a big country physically, like, like land amounts. You don't have to have a huge GDP to be a first world cyber capability. Israel, DJ BSEC, 3 years. Good to have you here. Israel is a cyber power, right? Pakistan has got cyber capabilities, etc. So China's very, very good, though. All right. Usually they do espionage. They have been attacking U.S. telecoms quite well. Volt Typhoon was another Chinese-based APT that was hacking into energy critical infrastructure within the United States. There's no reason to doubt that they would be doing this in other countries as well. To me, I hate to say this. This is not fear-mongering or anything. There is a trend here, sure, right? So it would seem that China and China adjacent allies are establishing footholds and persistence inside of, I guess, quote unquote, adversarial countries' telecommunication infrastructure. I don't know what the long-term action on objective is. I don't know if this is just an investment in their capabilities in case they do need to use it, or is there like a larger strategy here, like a mission objective on why you would take these over. I will tell you really quickly, for my money, communications are amazingly critical, right? Like when I talk critical, I'm talking super critical. Think about the way that we operate as a society, as a military, as a country, as a government, like as a business. You email, you text, you signal, you telegram, you WhatsApp, you social media post, you phone call. We work remotely all over the place. Communication is vital for how things get done. And I'm not even talking about communicating effectively like a nerd talking to a business executive and they're being lost in the sauce, or like a clinician talking to somebody and using medical terms and getting lost in the sauce. I'm talking just straight up the infrastructure to be able to send message in any form or factor. That's what they're doing. They're compromising all of that stuff. Again, you don't have to go down the road and be like beyond Sec Plus to look at 3 core security objectives: confidentiality, integrity, and availability, and think, what's the risk here? So availability, dude, if they shut off, like, again, just play it forward. If they have access to all these communications and they wipe them or shut them off or whatever, that is incredibly catastrophic and incredibly chaotic. I mean, if you are going to pair that with a more organized, coordinated, actual military strike, that would be a good move. Russia proved this when it invaded Ukraine. If you don't recall, right before Russia invaded Ukraine, 2022, March, go look it up. They knocked out internet to Ukraine. Why? To pretty much try to squash any type of response Ukraine could muster in the short time before. Now, of course, Russian soldiers were all up on Tinder trying to get hot dates with Ukrainian women in their area, which kind of blew up their OPSEC and gave Ukraine a head start on response. But that's, I digress. That's the availability. How about confidentiality? Well, I mean, if you're able to either intercept communications, you can see who's talking to who. Even if the data is encrypted, I can see that I'm sending a message to DJ BSEC in H-Town, right? So you may not know what we're talking about, but you see who we're talking to, when we're talking to, and how often we're talking. You can put things together in the metadata. And wait, there's more. How about integrity? Integrity gets kicked down the curb like GRC does with blue and red teams, okay? Integrity is like the long-lost cousin that doesn't get any love. But hear me out. Imagine, if you will, for a second, that the communications are not encrypted, or like, let's play Star Trek worlds. You're able to decrypt it with quantum computers, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're able to manipulate the data in transit because you're in the communication vector and you are able to basically be an adversarial in the middle, you can manipulate that data, which absolutely 100% compromises the integrity of it, whether it's the actual message itself or who it's coming from. These are things that we make decisions on. If you get a message from the President of the United States to launch the missile, right? That's a pretty big decision. You'd want to validate who said that. And if the integrity of the, the signature or the non-repudiation elements of it have been compromised, you're going to do what it says. So this is not, oh no, they can see that I called, friggin' 1-800 FedEx to figure out where my crate is from Las Vegas. It's much more involved than that. So again, it's all about, that's what I think is happening. Okay. I think it's much more about establishing presence than it is anything else. And in the current ecosystem of what is considered international norms of attacking, this doesn't qualify. All right. If a country put soldiers on the ground and launched a missile into, if Canada, for whatever, if Canada rolled tanks over the border into North Dakota, that would be a big problem. That would be a clear sign of aggression and an attack, right? If Canada hacks Sony Pictures or North Korea hacks Sony Pictures, it's like, that's not really Article 5 acts of war, because it's not, because we haven't defined that. So like there's this asymmetric warfare thing going on here. Okay, final thing I'll say, if you want to learn more about this particular topic, I've actually read quite a good book on the topic. It's super boring, the book, but it's incredibly good at what it says. It's not really a page turner, but if you can like slog through it, it's actually quite good. This is the book right here. It's Russian Cyber Operations by Scott Jasper. It does focus on Russia and Putin's initiatives and how they navigate the boundaries of what is war and what is not war. But you can absolutely apply the lessons in this book to China and what China is doing. This book is probably 3-4 years old. Definitely pre-Ukraine, so probably 5 years old. All right, let's keep cooking.
AI-powered ransomware is a thing now. In It Was Only a Matter of Time news, researchers at ESET discovered a work-in-progress ransomware dubbed PromptLock. This is written in Golang and uses the open-weight GPT OSS 20B model from OpenAI. PromptLock uses hard-coded prompts to generate Lua scripts dynamically. These scripts are then used for operations like file enumeration, inspection, exfiltration, and ultimately encryption. The researchers cautioned that PromptLock in its current form isn't exactly practical, requiring a local install of Olama with significant hardware resources to actually run, and it also requires poor network segmentation to allow for communication to an external server. Still, mark your calendar. AI-powered ransomware will only get better after today.
Yep. All right. This should come as no surprise. Okay. Vibe coding. Like, I want to punch the term vibe coding in the neck, but I will tell you, I saw a SaaS solution that my friend, I don't want to dox anybody, but my friend, I had a call with my friend yesterday, and he put together a SaaS solution over the last 2 weekends, vibe coding. And it's a pretty sick, solution. And like, he's actually like, he's going to give it to his employer, but I'm like, dude, you really should just quit your job and do this. But whatever, that's his choice. This is AI powered malware. And the thing I want to point out here is that they ran a local instance. You might be like, wait a minute, how is it possible to jailbreak this thing and make it write malware? You can even do that with these like generative solutions that you have access to, like through ChatGPT and whatever. But if you have the resources, you can run it locally. And that's what this person did. And when you run it locally, brosif, all the guardrails, you can take them off because it's your instance. I would expect this to continue to happen. I looked over my shoulder while the story was going because I wanted to see if I had this book. I'm actually like plugged into the soundboard, which I know you guys would probably think is hilarious, that I have audio issues, but I'm like literally, like, I'd have to take my earpiece out and all that other stuff to go over there to see if I have this book. But this book right here is what I want to call your attention to. The Coming Wave by Mustafa Suleyman. I guess it's book recommendation today because this book right here is phenomenal, okay? Phenomenal. And the reason I bring it up, okay, is because, yes, it's a bad situation that there's a new ransomware out there that AI made. Here's the deal. Whether AI made it or, whatever, Bruce and Hacks made it or Johnny Law made it, doesn't matter. It's just ransomware. It does the same thing ransomware does, locks up your stuff, charges you money. If you have good practices like backups, EDR solutions to prevent malware detonation, detection engineering to look for certain bad behaviors in your environment, educating your end users. Like, it doesn't matter if AI is making it or some threat actors making it. It's just ransomware. So I'm not wicked sweaty about that. What I want you to know, and this is something you can bust out in a job interview if you want, Mustafa Suleyman in this book, by this way, this book will not make you feel better about AI and where we're going. Okay. So just be aware. I think this book's phenomenal, but it's also incredibly sobering. That's probably the best way to put it. It's very sobering. All right. Come on. This book right here. Anyways, the reason I point this out is because he talks about in this book that we're, as computer technology gets smaller, more powerful, more affordable, more people will be able to buy it. As these AI platforms and LLMs become less resource demanding and less like only for large companies and large governments, and becomes more accessible to individuals, as those two things intersect, where now I have the power to compute and I have access to these models in my kitchen, I can then start making my own things with AI, like my home AI. And honestly, that's what happened here. So Mustafa Suleyman, he called it. I mean, it's not really like a hot take. Like, it's obvious that this was going to happen, but he says a whole bunch of things, and on it, it just sucks, man. It's scary. Okay. You can basically, I'll just give you like a little taste. I'll let you put your pinky, in this here. Like, you can use AI. You probably could have found a vaccine to the sickness of unknown origin a lot faster because you could have used AI to model over that little spore thing. However, you can use AI to find pathogens that the human body may not be really good at fighting. You're picking up what I'm putting down here. So very, very sobering. Great book, worth reading. Honestly, guys, the reality, in my opinion, okay, this is how I would advise. If you don't like where we're going with AI, sticking your head in the sand and pretending that it's not happening might make you feel better. It might mollify you for a minute, but it doesn't change reality. So this is one of those ones where you got to put your, you got to put your pants on and grab a shovel and start shoveling this particular one. All right.
Anthropic warns about vibe hacking. The AI company released a new threat intelligence report, which warns that agentic AI systems are being weaponized. The report profiled a threat actor using Claude code to run a data extortion operation end to end that hit at least 17 organizations across a variety of verticals in about a month. Anthropic's Claude chatbot was used for everything from technical consultation to crafting psychologically targeted extortion demands. The report also detailed the use of Claude by North Korean IT workers to get jobs at Fortune 500 US companies and saw ads for romance scams using its chatbot on Telegram. While Anthropic created new controls to prevent similar types of abuse that it profiled in the report, it warned that these examples it found likely reflect consistent patterns of behavior across all frontier AI models.
All right. This website's like definitely wanted me to pay money or something. Okay, vibe hacking. I mean, okay. I mean, if this one is build your own ransomware in your kitchen, this one is use generative AI to do all sorts of bad things. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this is like an attack. I mean, I don't know how this is like news. Okay, I feel like, dude, ChatGPT came on the scene and blew up more than 2 years ago. All right, it was 2023. If you can wrap your head around that, people, we as practitioners in the space were calling out how this is definitely a concern and where it's going to be going and everything like that. So like, yeah, people are using Claude. They're probably using Gemini and OpenAI and all the things to do bad, whether it's custom, ransom demands or writing malware. It is what it is. Like this is, I don't know, man. Like, unless you're Rumpelstiltskin and you just woke up, isn't Rumpelstiltskin the one that went to sleep for 40 years or 400 years or whatever? Like got the long nap. Unless you're that person, like this is not news to me. Vibe hacking. Dude, I'll tell you what. I will tell you this. This is a bit of a hot take. I don't like vibe whatever, okay? Vibe marketing, vibe coding, vibe whatever. But I will say, if there were two Ubers, okay? There's two Ubers, or like I go to a bar, right? Like a great craft beer bar. Where are you at, Code Brew? Right? We get it, or Gary Sturgiadis. We're at a bar, right? And there's like a couple open stools, and one stool is sitting next to vibe whatever, and like 3 stools down is ishing, like smishing, quishing, vishing, like insert prefix to ishing. I'm gonna go sit next to prefix vibe suffix. Okay, like I'll sit next to vibe coding, vibe hacking, vibe marketing, vibe cyber, vibe dudes, vibe dudettes. I'll sit next to vibe before I sit next to ishing, quishing, die, smishing, die, vishing, die. Just like I can't. I draw the line. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I draw the line at ishing. I'm not sitting. Now, if you do vibe ishing, my brain will explode, okay? But I'm not sitting next to you at the bar. I'm just going to get, I'll just get a painkiller. If you're from the low country, get a painkiller and a styrofoam cup to go. They're like, ask me at the mid-roll. I'll tell you, there's like a local bar. They had to stop doing it. I'll just tell you, they used to serve this like high alcohol drink in a styrofoam cup so you could get it on your way to the beach. Called a painkiller, but they had to stop doing that because it's not legal.
Swedish municipalities impacted by suspected ransomware. Miljödota is an HR software provider used by about 200 Swedish municipal governments. Its CEO, Eric Hallen, confirmed that threat actors are attempting to extort the company, seemingly as part of a ransomware attack. Several regional governments confirmed that they use Miliodota to handle medical information and other sensitive employee data. Swedish Minister for Civil Defense Carl-Oskar Bolin stressed that the scope of the incident is still under investigation, but said the government plans to present a new cybersecurity bill to Parliament in the near future.
All right. I mean, I'm glad you guys are here today because, like, these stories on the surface look like great cyber stories. Like, wow, look at all this stuff. But then, like, when you go into it, it's like, don't look at it from the side because you're going to see that it's invisible. Yeah, dude. Bunch of municipalities impacted. Here, I want to tell you this right now, okay? This is just a pro tip. If you see hundreds of, insert variable here, Swedish municipalities, hundreds of car dealerships, hundreds of insert business here, you can say with 99.9% confidence, this is a supply chain attack where some upstream software provider solution got punched in the mouth, and then it started raining down on all their clients. That's a fact, man. Go look at the what was the friggin' car dealership? There was a company that sold the car dealership software in the United States. They got hit in the mouth. I forget what they're called. Power School does 85% of K through 12 schools in the United States. They got hit. All the stories come out. Ooh, 80, thousands of schools in the United States hacked. It's like, no, they're not hacked. The upstream provider. This is why supply chain is something you should be aware of and something you need to govern. Hello, GRC. Where's my GRC people at? For real. This is what we're dealing with. So, like, this is a nothing story as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry, Sweden. You seem like a great bunch of people. You're Scandinavian. Your fish, your Swedish fish are delicious. I think you're pretty good at skiing, right? The skiing activity where you go down the long ramp and then jump and then like lean over your ski tips. I think that's what's up. But yeah, this Miliodota, I don't even know why I tried to say that with a Swedish accent, does HR stuff and they got punched in the mouth. Salesforce handles CRM stuff, punched in the mouth. Snowflake handles all sorts of data for tech companies, punched in the mouth. Like, dude, I don't know how long it's going to take before people start listening to the guy at the end of the bar, me, who's screaming about supply chain attacks and being like, dude, can you calm down there? You and your vibe hacking partner over there. I don't know what it is, dude. It's 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm talking about the bar. I don't know. Maybe cyber's finally broke me, and I'm just ready to get after that purple drink. But by the way, I found out I got educated yesterday on what lean is. I did not know what lean is until yesterday. So if you don't know what lean is, it's what the Gen Z kids are doing, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
And now, thanks to today's episode sponsor, Profit Security. SOC analyst burnout is real. Repetitive tasks, poor tooling, and constant alert noise are driving them out. Profit Security fixes this. Their agentic AI analyst handles alert triage and investigation, work that 69% of cybersecurity leaders say is the best use for AI in the SOC. Say goodbye to burnout and hello to efficiency. Check out profitsecurity.ai. That's PROPHET security.ai.
Oh, jeez. I just found DJ BSEC is letting me know in chat that lean was our generation. I missed that train. Whatever. You know what? I'm kind of glad I don't know these things. It makes me, I'm so innocent and naive. Okay. Let's do this really quickly. All right. Hell yeah. You know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start making this bottom one. I'm going to make this bottom one mid-roll. Okay, or actually, you know what? Maybe I'll make it like meme of the week. Like I'll make the bottom one like whatever it is. All right. So check it out, everybody. Holla, holla, holla. This is the mid-roll. Thanks for being here. I hope you're enjoying the show. I know this is a little bit different than just a hot take news show where we get into the stories. This is an experience. This is a community This is what we do every single weekday morning. So if you're liking it, come get all you can get. We'll carve off as much as you want. Like, we just manufacture all this all the time. And if you don't like it, that's okay. You have other options. I'm all about helping you get to what you need. I want to say thank you to the stream sponsors, ThreatLocker, Antisyphon, Flare, and Barricade Cyber Solutions. Guys, if you don't know Barricade Cyber Solutions, they are definitely out there helping businesses protect themselves and respond to incidents. But I want to call your attention to the Fortify 365 solution that they have. Very straightforward. You contact them, Eric Taylor and his team, the same Eric Taylor who was hosting the Blue Team Summit yesterday at Antisyphon. Him and his team can come in and properly configure your M365 instance to be hardened and secure. If you're already paying for M365, you already have access to all this configuration. You're taking out risk. You're taking on risk when you don't need to. Conditional access, MFA, make sure like public IP addresses are only where they're supposed to be. Logging, telemetry, a million things. How many global tenants accounts do you have? Get with Eric Taylor. Go to fortify365.com today and check it out. All right. Every single day of the week has special segment, and Thursdays, I'm really, really happy, is always the meme of the week. This guy right here, Dan Reardon, the Haircut Fish, a personal friend of mine. He's a friend of many of us in the community. Such a good dude, family man. He's on vacation right now, and I don't want to dox him, but I'm going to because it's important for the meme of the week. If you have ever been to Wildwood, New Jersey, let's sound off in chat if you've ever been to Wildwood, New Jersey. They have a boardwalk, and on the boardwalk, they have this yellow tram that goes up and down the boardwalk, and it's annoying because the tram, it's always yelling like, watch the tram, please, watch the tram, please, watch the tram, please, and it's basically like telling you so you get out of the way, but it's famous. If you've been to Wildwood, you know what I'm talking about. Dan's there right now, so shout out for the meme of the week. Dan, meme of the week right there. You can see I'm driving the tram. Dan is poking his head out here. So shout out to Wildwood and holla, holla, holla to the tram. So there we go. Enjoy. All right, we're going to get our la-la-las on. I want to say thank you to all of you. It takes a village, guys, and it's an absolute treat showing up every day to deliver this show to you. It's a real honor. Thank you. Let's get our la-la-las on. Let your head bob. Let your head bob. All right, let's finish strong, guys. Just remember, I have to get the heck out of here around 8:55. I have an Uber coming to pick me up because my truck is broken to take me to campus. The fall semester starts today. If you didn't know, I'm also faculty at the Citadel Military College, and I have to go teach on campus for a 9:30 a.m. class. So we're going to get the heck out of here after that. We're going to have some jaw jacking, so don't sweat that. Daniel Lowry, great member of the community, also got his own things going on, is doing Thursday jaw jacking. So stay tuned for that. You're not going to be disappointed. Let's keep cooking.
U.S. DoD using software maintained by Russians. A new report from Hunted Labs found that the open source tool FastGlob is solely maintained by a Russian-based Yandex employee. This useful tool allows developers to perform actions on a group of files without extra code. It's such a useful tool that the U.S. Department of Defense uses it in at least 30 pre-built software packages, as well as about 5,000 other projects globally, seeing about 70 million downloads per week. Hunted Labs researchers found no malicious code in FastGlob and contacted the DoD's Office of the Chief Information Officer 3 weeks prior to publishing findings. Over the summer, the Department of Defense issued a memo directing DoD staff to not procure any hardware or software susceptible to adversarial foreign influence.
Yeah, okay. That's going to be hard. Okay, so a couple things here. Number one, open source software, supply chain ecosystems of software. It's hard to know where software came from. Okay, so like if I'm building a piece of software and I import a module into it, yes, I can see where I pulled that module from. But if that module of code pulled in something from somewhere else, that's like two iterations down. You may not see that. I actually have a slide in my supply chain talk that I gave where I basically said, tell me your great grandfather's name. And basically the point here is like, everybody, not everybody, but most people here know their father's first name. Okay. Most people know their grandfather's first name. Most people do not know, unless you have like some family name and like you're Joe the Fifth or whatever, but most people do not know their grandfather's father's name. The reason I bring this up is because with supply chain, you might know what kind of software you're using, AKA your dad. You may know where they've imported software from, AKA your grandfather, but you don't know where the software that they imported is coming from, AKA your great grandfather. It's just an analogy to understand why these things can happen. Now, I want to say that the policy that Department of Defense and federal government software is not to use software that could be tampered with by foreign adversaries that's cute. That's really cute. Like, I love the policy here. Like, super cute. Like, definitely good on you, bro. But like in practice, this is near impossible. Okay. This is like me telling you, Jack Joy. Hey, Jack Joy. If it's the same Jack Joy who presented at the Blue Team Summit, great work yesterday. Listen, it's like me telling Jack Joy, you can't eat food with any processed sugars in it, right? Like, okay, that sounds easy, but like, not every product like is listing what it has, and it's potential that the product used some product that had processed sugar. So like, it's great to say that, but in practice, it's very difficult to implement. And when it comes to software, I mean, forget about it, bro. Now, I do want to point out there's already an inherent risk that code gets imported from GitHub, NPM, PyPy that has malicious features and functions built into it. We've also seen abandoned code repositories get scooped up by threat actors where they, basically can take over that repo that has authority and trust and start weaponizing it. So like, you're already getting punched in the mouth from 3 different directions. This just adds to the nonsense. I feel like this is a true statement, but at the same time, also a like little xenophobic here. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not trying to be ignorant that like there is these like global powers and friction starting to manifest between, like Russia and the US and China and the US and all these things. But I don't know, man. Like, it's just great policy, but hard to implement. It does make me feel a little like McCarthyism-esque coming. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, like, I see that you have, Russian software. Like, what else have you been doing? You're like, dude, I bought this solution. It's like 3 levers deep. How would I know? It's like, oh, that's what they all would say, So just, I don't know, bit of a tinfoil hat moment there. So please qualify that with a tinfoil hat.
Citrix RCE flaw under active exploitation. Citrix released updates for NetScaler ADC and gateway devices to address a vulnerability that allows for remote code execution. The Shadow Server Foundation reports that there are over 28,000 vulnerable devices online, with about 35% located in the US. Citrix did not provide any other mitigations, workarounds, or indicators of compromise. CISA and Citrix found evidence that these are already being exploited by malicious actors, and the flaw has been added to the known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. Federal agencies have until August 28th to patch.
All right. Sorry, I was messaging my Uber driver, Giovanni. Seems like a good guy. So I wasn't paying attention to the story. And by the way, like, it kills me that like I can only put 5 of these things, so I have to like manually do this. I know DJ B-Sec's gonna be like, you need a producer. Yeah, I know. Okay, dudes. Hey, listen, if you're running Citrix, you got to patch it.
You gotta patch it.
Like, period, full stop, okay? They got the CVE here. You can go to djbsec.github.io. You can go into his blue team. You can go into his tools. You can see this vuln management EPSS finder, get results. One problem is DJ BSEC's tool takes a minute to run, whereas Barricade Cyber's EPS lookup is like instantaneous. So, this one's not good. 7% chance of getting exploited in the next 30 days. That's not super high, but it's not good. 91 percentile of how bad is it? 9.8. Here's what I would say. This is known exploited. Roswell, UK. Thank you. I understand. I could do that. Yes. Known exploited vulnerability catalog is here, which means, the likelihood of you getting punched in the mouth is higher. This is a critical vuln. Of course, it has a CVSS score of 9.8, which is, the base score, and then it can only go up technically. So your environment variables do matter. If you're running NetScaler Gateway, or NetScaler configured as a VPN or a AAA, like an authentication server, or NetScaler ADC, or just that, you are at risk. These are internet-facing assets. VPNs are designed to be internet-facing, so you can connect to them. Authentication servers, definitely not something you want to mess with. What I would say is, if you're running Citrix net gateways, if you're running Citrix NetScalers, connect with your IT people right now. This is definitely one of those vulnerabilities you don't want to wait on, okay? It's known exploited. You can scan using Shodan to find these things. Don't wait.
You gotta patch it.
All right.
Blind Eagle sinks its talons into Colombia. Researchers at Recorded Future published details about a campaign by the group Blind Eagle, which primarily targets the Colombian government from May 2024 to July 2025. These attacks were carried out by 5 distinct clusters using different infrastructure and operations, but showing some overall common tactics based around using cracked remote access Trojans, dynamic domain providers, and legitimate internet services for staging, as well as using spear phishing lures posing as government agencies. Blind Eagle has been active since 2018, typically targeting victims in South America for financial gain.
All right. A couple things. Recorded Future is very good at cyber threat intelligence. I actually know a couple of people who work over there. Very talented individuals. So I'll note that. Colombia, when we do Worldwide Wednesday, Andres Molina and a couple others, we actually had 3 people from Colombia live in chat yesterday. So this is definitely relevant to Simply Cyber community members. You do want to be mindful of this since you have an uptick in activities. It says that there's a cluster of, different attackers using similar methods. I would almost think that, I don't want to call them a gang, but it's probably like a community that are sharing TTPs with each other. Kind of like the Simply Cyber community shares resources in Discord. It's not unrealistic to think that there's a faction of, individuals who are not really ethically bound to not do harm that are sharing information with each other. This one's called Blind Eagle. Definitely targeted in South America. So you would imagine that they're likely Spanish speaking, potentially from, Argentina or Brazil. Nicole Pelroth's book, since we're talking books, Nicole Pelroth's book, This Is How They Tell Me the World Ends. Phenomenal book. She does a whole chapter on like the Brazilian hacker scene, South America scene, maybe Argentina and Venezuela. She talks about what their disposition is towards the United States. It's, spoiler alert, it's a mixed bag. So, and they're very talented. Okay. So, it gives me very like 1995 United States hacker culture scene vibes, down there. So I guess with something like this, what I would look for is, what are the IOCs? What is this? A PDF? Ugh. Their C2 infrastructure includes, IPs from Colombian ISP, sure. And VPN services. Yep. Okay. Oh, my Uber's outside. Okay, here we go. The threat actor used a Visual Basic script as a dropper. A dropper is typically like an initial infection, and then the dropper will pull down second stage payloads. This is a common technique, frankly, because the droppers are usually lightweight and can run, and there isn't much to it, so it's not going to get necessarily detected. They're attacking the government, but you could see, get your Oprah emotes if you're available, squad members, because even though the government in South America gets punched in the mouth more often than not, they're not saying no to education, healthcare, retail, transport, oil, and defense. So anyways, be mindful of this, an uptick.
When NDA stands for New Download Attack, researchers at Checkpoint detailed a new campaign where threat actors delivered malware to American industrial and tech firms disguised as non-disclosure agreements. These threat actors initially approach victims through their Contact Us forms, posing as potential business partners and keeping up communication for several weeks. Eventually, they asked the firm to sign an NDA sent as a zip archive, but containing a custom malware called Mixshell. This appears to be a highly tailored approach. In some instances, the threat actor sent completely innocuous zip files, seemingly depending on the victim's IP address and browser information. The threat actors also set up fake websites using domains tied to real U.S. businesses for added veracity.
All right. Ooh, triple word score, Rich Straffolino, using the word veracity. That was one of my GRE words that I had to memorize back in the day when I was younger. Okay, so check it out. We're going to speed run this. I see Daniel Lowry in the green room ready to come on here and melt your face with answers and just really great Monster Energy drinks, I'm sure. Listen, hackers use fake NDAs. Let me save you all a bit of trouble. Hackers use fake insert variable document here to deliver malware to insert variable industry here. Period. Full stop. I don't care if it's a friggin' resume. Hey, check out my thing. I don't care if it's an invoice. I don't care if it's an NDA. Whatever it is, it's a friggin' malware loaded document. It's probably an archive that when you explode it or unpack it, it runs some type of script. It pulls down some payload. This is basically par for the course. So here's what you do. And by the way, you can't just stop attachments from coming in because the legit attachments do come. Plus, threat actors can just link to file shares with the attachment. So like, here's a Google Drive, here's a Dropbox, here's a box, whatever. So it's not going to do anything. All you got to do is, number one, EDRs to make sure that these things, when they detonate, don't do anything. Number two, educate your end users and be specific with your end users, okay? Go to your accounts payable people. Ask if you can sit in their meeting for 5 minutes every week, or not every week, but like once a month, and be like, listen, this is what it looks like when you get a malicious invoice. Here's what business email compromise is. Let me help you. They don't want to get popped in the mouth. Trust me. Go to HR. Talk about fake resumes and malicious resumes. Talk about North Korean fake hackers, all that stuff. Like, if you just send out a broad email to the entire business, there's a diffusion of responsibility where people are like, oh, this doesn't really apply to me. If you go to HR's weekly team meeting and you're like, listen, you are being targeted and this is how they're going to do it. Knowledge is power. Let me help you not get punched in the mouth. They're going to resonate with that because it feels tailored and custom to them. Okay, so do that. All right, let's holler really quickly. I feel, I hate leaving my Uber driver. Oh, by the way, Jack Joy with a super chat, $5 super chat to tip the Uber driver. Jack Joy, thank you so very much, dude. Epic win. All right, hey, really quick, before I release you to Daniel Lowry in all his glory, I want to let everybody know at 9:30 a.m., Cybersecurity Mentors podcast, part of the Simply Cyber Media Group, is going to be dropping bombs. And this one's awesome. 10 resume mistakes that are probably holding you back. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to take the link. I'm going to pin it in chat for the raid, 9:30. Boom. There we go. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Hold on one second. I am Jerry from Simply Cyber, LOL. Okay, guys, let's do some jaw jacking. I'm going to release you to Daniel Lowry. Thanks so very much. Until next time, stay secure. Holla. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. I hope it's good. I'm Daniel Lowry. I'm going to be doing some jawjacking for Jerry today, and I'll tell you what, those students over at the Citadel, they're getting a fired up Jerry Auger today, aren't they? They are going to get the best of the best, the creme de la creme of what Jerry has to offer because he's already got his blood pumping. I love that. That's awesome. I'm glad he could have that happen for him this morning. But if you're new to jawjacking, well, what we're going to do is we're going to open the floor, let you have the opportunity to ask a question, hopefully get an answer, and have some good community conversation going on. A lot of great people in the chat already. I'm going to keep an eye on things, do my best to grab those questions as they come and put a big old Q next to it so I can kind of see what those are. And good morning to everyone. I see a lot of great folks in there. Dream Logic. I see Legrat, Poner Joe, Space Tacos, Alicia Parkinson. Man, it's like we never left. We had After Dark last night, and it was so good with Joe Hudson, having a great time talking about the just state of cybersecurity. And, we got into a little bit of whether or not that's a commodity word now. Man, super, super fun. So I'm glad to be back in the hot seat. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm dragging a little this morning. I am and I don't have a monster. I don't have a monster. I didn't think it was going to be. I didn't sleep very well at all. My son was up in the middle of the night, but we're still going to persevere because that's what we do. So let me start looking through here and seeing how everyone is doing. I love seeing all the people. Good mornings. Very nice. Warm welcome from everyone out there. But if you got those questions, make sure put a Q next to them. I'll see them. I'll star them, and we will get to them. And that's being said, I already got a few questions coming in. Let me grab some here. And first question comes from CTI with Jay. Hey, CTI with Jay. Good to see you. What is that lens that you're using? So good. It is a Sigma 56 millimeter 1.4 on an A6400 Sony camera. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. It is a nice camera. It's funny. A lot of people ask me that very question, like, hey, what are you using? How do you get it to look so crisp? I got this camera and lens combo for a rock bottom steal. Like, this whole thing said that it should costed me about $1,500, but I got the whole thing for $200. The heavens opened and the Lord smiled upon me, because that is that. I mean, my dad used to say, Jesse James used a gun, son. That's cheap. How did you? That is a steal, but it's really great because I can have a lower ambiance because it does really well with low light situations because of the aperture on the lens. So if I try to use other cameras, it's just dark and grainy, but this camera comes in super nice, super smooth. So yeah, love that camera. All right, let's see what else we got here. Legrat is asking, was your show on last night or is it tonight? I think it was yesterday and I missed it. Oh yeah, you did miss it. It was last night. And bad news, I'm not going to be able to, for all of those that follow Cybercast and Cybercast IRL, Cybercast After Dark, typically we have Cybercast IRL at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Fridays. I will not be able to make it Friday. I have a scheduling conflict, but I'm going to record a video tonight so that it will release at 10 a.m. tomorrow on doing the LabShock lab installation, how you can do that. I walked through it. They weren't kidding. It's a fairly straightforward process. I'm gonna walk you through all the bells and whistles of making that happen, and I'll release that at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I'll film that tonight and get that out to everyone. So we have something at the 10 a.m. slot to fill your time between Jerry and jawjacking and then James McQuiggan, right? So awesome. Or James McQuiggan is at that 9:30 spot. After that, there you go. At my time, IRL time. All right, let's see here. We've got Sean Sailors. Does building an internet presence increase chances of getting a job? A Medium blog, YouTube channel, more LinkedIn posts? This is a great question. I love this question. And the reason I love this question is because I get this a lot, right? And I tell people, and Jerry tells people, hey, you need to be getting yourself out there as much as humanly possible. And that is true. And one of the ways that you can do that is by starting a Medium blog or starting a YouTube channel or doing something to that effect. So it becomes, is that a necessary item? Is that something you have to do? So no, it's not something you have to do. But and you don't have to do one or the other or both or whatever. My thoughts on that process really is usually, start where you're strong. I like doing that. Start where you're strong. If you're good at writing, start a blog and then use something like LinkedIn and your other, you do have to kind of get into some lanes. And of course, we're building up to, does this help us get a job? You do have to find your lane when it comes to what social media you want to post on so that people can see it, right? You got to have some visibility, because if you're just making a blog or you're just having a YouTube channel and eyes are not getting on it, that's, if you've got something interesting to say, if you've got good information to put out there, if you're helping the community in some way, shape, or form, then, oh, I love when that happens. Then you want people to see it, and for the purposes of helping them, not necessarily that this is going to get you some job, right? So that said, find that spot, find where you're strong, and then move into the others, right? So if you're not great on camera, you need to work on that presence. I know that a lot of people, I think Jerry and others have said, hey, just do it anyway. The best way to learn is on the fly, and there is some validity to that philosophy, I think. And but for me, I always like to feel most comfortable, feel like I'm doing something good, and then you use that YouTube channel to push people to your blog posts. And eventually, as you get better at things like YouTube, you can do the opposite. You can start using your blog to push people to the YouTube, and hopefully you're building a YouTube following that is a community that's nice, and you start to integrate with other people. And this is the way to get your name out. Now, this brings us to, will this help us get a job? It absolutely can. I can't sit here and say it's a guarantee that that's going to happen, but it's not going to hurt you necessarily, right? It's a great way to show your work. It's a great way for people to see who you are, what your personality is. That's outside of that interview. They can see, if you do get an interview, it's a great way for them to see, did the person that showed up today, or do they look like the person that I see on this YouTube video? Does that sound like the person that I'm reading in this blog site? So, and you have that, if you do get an interview yet again, this is a great way to kind of stand out in that interview process. Hey, what's your, what they'll ask you things like, what's your experience? What do you know about? Talk about the things you're passionate about. You can then bring that up. Oh, I did this blog post. Let me show you this blog post I did. I was really interested in, I'm just going to bring it up, SAML, right? Attacks, SSO attacks against SAML. I've been really super interested in learning that. I've been labbing that at home. I've been spinning this up here. I did this Medium post about that. I did a YouTube video about that. You can see that here. It's really cool. All the screenshots are there. I found that really interesting, so I went down this rabbit hole. It's really cool stuff. And now I'm better checked out on why that happens, how we can avoid it, and what that would look like if we wanted to test our own systems to see if we were, that kind of stuff. So this is how you use it. It's not necessarily to become an influencer. We talked about this last night on After Dark. Not that you can't become one, but it's never been my desire to become an influencer. It's just that I wanted to do something that was fun, reach out to people, show them some fun stuff that I'm learning, what I'm doing, and see what other people are doing. Have them, I love the comment sections. I read every comment that I mean, I'm saying I've never missed one, but I bet I'm in the 90s percentile. I read my comments. I interact with people. That's why I started it, was for the fun, to look at what I'm doing and check it out. And maybe something. I've had some great conversations with people that are like, oh, I do this. You should check this out. Or did you know, blah, blah, blah. And that's the best part about having those things, interacting with other people and having the ability to learn something new that you might not have known because of it. And it's great to be able to use that in a job situation. So yes, it can help you when it comes to work. It's not a given. It's not a guarantee. Just keep that in mind, but it does not hurt. It definitely can show that you have some passion. All right, let's see here. Let's get to another question here. Legrat back in the house. Legrat's asking, was your show on last night or is it tonight? Oh, I think I already did that one. Yeah. Well, there we go. Let's go to Roswell, UK. Sharks are cool. No question. Just facts. Hold on here. Yeah, judges have affirmed that this is a true statement. The logic works out. So excellent work. Good job, Roswell. Sharks are cool. Let's see here. Space Tacos. What time is your afternoon or after dark stream? I checked, but it wasn't on. It comes on at 9 p.m. Eastern time. That is the regular schedule on Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. That way we get the kids to bed. Mom and pop can sit back, relax, and talk cyber. And that's what we try to do. Let that happen. All right, let's see here. Are you recording the morning pour for the video tomorrow? You know what? I didn't think about it, Marcus, but thank you for bringing that up. That's not a bad idea. That way we don't miss our morning pour. I will put a morning pour in the video because like I said, I'm going to do I don't know if I said this already. I'll do Lab Shock. We talked about Lab Shock last week when we had Mark Holcomb on. He was saying, you got to check out this Lab Shock lab. I was like, absolutely. And it was almost immediately I was in my lab environment building Lab Shock. I had it up and running. I'm just going to tease for a second here. It is flipping cool. It is really cool. It is really cool. So I think you guys are going to enjoy that. I sure did. I can't wait to use it. I can't wait to learn more about how it works and the bells and whistles underneath. There's so many things, and it's honestly, it's so simple to get working. And then you got something really cool to start playing around with. And obviously we need some help when it comes to OT. We should all be getting up to snuff when it comes to OT stuff. So yeah, I will record a morning pour in that video. Thank you for that, Marcus. All right, let's see here. Safe Home Cyber. Any gamified learning tools that you could recommend for introducing cybersecurity to children? That is a really good question. Introducing cybersecurity to children. I have heard some rumblings about people that have been working on this, trying to get more into the high school, middle school range of cybersecurity. Obviously, they need some real help because there's a, I don't want to name any names here, but their initials are Roblox. Oops, whoopsie, right? But there's some dangers out there for our kids. It's difficult for us to keep them safe. I always say, my kids don't have phones. My kids are it's very open when it comes to any internet access that they're doing. I'm using firewalls and things of that nature to keep them out as content filtering stuff as much as I possibly can. Try to keep them out of the weeds. I don't know of any gamified learning tools though. You know what though? I'm going to write that down because that is a worthwhile endeavor. Gamified security tools for kids. And I'm going to find some stuff, and whatever I find, I will let everyone know because, right, we got to keep our kids safe. I told my daughter, she was wanting a phone, and I said, baby, I don't keep a phone from you because I want to be a big, mean ogre or anything like that, or that I'm trying to make you not cool with your friends or whatever. I said, when I give you a phone, I don't give you access to the internet. I give the internet access to you, and that is a dangerous thing, right? So, and she understood that, I think, and she hasn't given me any trouble about it. So we definitely need some stuff to help our kids be safe on the internet. All right, another question about my setup from Roswell, UK. What lights do you use? The lighting is so smooth. So lighting is a fun thing to kind of mess around with. If you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel or some other type of video, thing to get your person out there to help you with jobs, to help you reach the community, to help give back, lighting is going to be one of those things where you're just like, it's never right. It's never right. It looks horrible and I hate it. It's you just are never satisfied. I literally have one softbox. I've got it bounced. So my ceiling is stark white. This is a converted third car garage that I'm in. This is my studio. So the garage door is white. It's stark white as well. So I have it bouncing off and it's just diffused very well. And of course, the lens and the camera do a really good job in low light situations. And therefore, and plus I got the two lights behind me. I have found that this is my best way, right? Too much light and I got to mess with the white balance too much. I got to mess with the exposure too much. I got to, aperture, getting it just the right. I've got everything set just the way I like it right now. So thank you. I'm glad you like it. I like it too. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of trial and error. Some people do more hard lighting, right? They get deep shadow behind them. If they've got something behind them, trying to come down from you've got your straight line, you got key lighting, you got all these things that you can do to kind of, you get rim lighting if you like. And I'm actually, am I getting any rim lighting? I don't think I am. Maybe just a hair from the screen light over here. But where it kind of highlights the back of your head. You can do all these fun lighting things to make it look really cool and look really pro. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. I think I've got a can light right here with an LED light in it. Cost me, I think, total of $20. Then this is just like an LED light I bought from Big Lots and stuck it in. So you can do all this stuff on the cheap and still look pretty darn good, I think. Now that camera situation, I can't complain about that. Nothing I can do. It was a good deal. And I enjoy it. But yeah, good lighting is going to make you look pro. It's going to give you a better presence, right? So yeah, good question though. Good question. All right, let's see here. From Cyber Risk Witch, would you rather work in a company with a solid cybersecurity culture and controls, or a company that is still developing their security posture but way behind? Ooh, I like this question. This is a crazy question. Okay, you got me on the spot. You got me in a hot seat here. With a solid cybersecurity culture and controls, or a company that is still developing their security posture but way behind? I guess if I had to make that decision today, I'd probably go with somebody that's way behind, but only with the caveats that if I come in and I'm going to work with you, that I don't want to hear any guff about what we're doing, right? If we ask and we tell you this is what we need, it's not some like, I didn't just come and go, hey, Moneybags, we've decided to buy, CrowdStrike, and that's what's going on here because we like CrowdStrike, or whatever the case is, right? Every decision that we made is going to come from the place of, what is our realistic budget? What can we do with that budget? How can we, and it would be kind of cool to start on that ground floor and build a more mature cybersecurity culture and controls for a company that has yet to really dig into that and go, man, that was cool. That was a lot of fun. And now I know every switch. I know every radio button. I know every control that's in there, how it's set up, how it's tuned. And if anything goes wrong, I know exactly where to go. It can be a little disorienting to drop into a place where they've already got everything kind of set up. And then you're like, well, where's this? What's that? What's that do? And there can be some, I guess, fun in doing that. But it's also like, it's like being parachuted in as one of those like firefighters that put out like forest fires, right? The smoke jumpers, I think they're called, right? They just jump in and you're just fires everywhere. You're putting it out. So yeah, they might have a solid cybersecurity culture, but that doesn't mean they're doing everything right or the way you think it should be done. You got to onboard a lot. So to me, that's not that I would be opposed to it. Don't hear me say that. It's just, you gave me the option of one or the other. So if I could be on the ground floor and help build that could be super cool. I think that would be more fun for this guy. Anyway, so a lot of fun there. Good question. Well, let's see here. More questions from Kyle. How would you approach this? I'm getting pushback from the network team about deploying Rita or Zeek on a span port, saying it's making copies of users' data. Okay. Well, it's all about risk, right? Let's say that that's true. I mean, here's the thing. It's what are you doing with that data? What's the purpose of putting Zeek? All right. So it's for a cybersecurity control. We're trying to look and see, like, all the data that comes into your network is yours anyway. It's not theirs necessarily, right? They're using your equipment. Now, you're obviously putting in controls to look for any kind of threats, any kind of malicious activity, and things of that nature. And you're in a work environment, so the vast majority of the traffic should be work related. So, I mean, the question I would ask is, what's the problem with making a copy of users' data? Looking for problems. If I don't find any, I delete it. It's gone. Like you need to come up with a policy for why you're doing it, what you're doing, how, and then how you're supposed to do it, develop that procedure so that everybody can agree on it, and start asking them what their fear is. Get to the bottom of their fear behind that, and then see if you can address it in some way that is satisfactory to them. And then hopefully they can come on board. Or maybe you meet in the middle with some form of compromise. Maybe you can set up some rule sets that say only this type, only if we see this, 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 and this, or maybe we have a allow list and whatever the case is. Sit down with them and say, what are you afraid of? Let's address those fears. Let's see if we could come up with some solutions so that we don't have to worry about this fear so much. Can you compromise with me? Can you meet me halfway where I don't get everything I want and you don't get everything you want, but we both get something? Otherwise, you're getting everything, and that's going to cause some tension between our teams, right? And we don't want that. We want to work together, right? You don't want to have everything just because it's your way, or you're not a your way or the highway kind of person, are you? Neither am I, right? So cool. So good. We agree that we should be able to come together and find some good compromise behind this. Always look for the art of the compromise, right? We're not talking about compromising our morals here, right? I'm not saying, hey, we should rob a liquor store. No. They should absolutely line in the sand, say, no, we're not robbing liquor stores. But when it comes to doing the business and trying to get the most bang for your buck when it comes to security, maybe there are certain times and dates that we can install things and run things that have less likely that we're doing actual user. But try to find those compromises, see if they're willing to compromise. Honestly, if you kind of put it out there like that, I want to work with you. Don't you want to work with me? That puts them in a position to be the bad guy if they say no. And then they have to justify that. And you just always take that position of, I'm trying to do the best we can with security. This is one of the standard things that we do in security to help with keeping threats out or catching them if they're in. So what can we do? If this is not the option, then work with me here. What can we do? Right? Good question. Great question. All right, let's see here. I got one more pin, then I'll have to get back in there and find some more questions. This one comes from Space Tacos. Hey, Daniel, have you ever done cybersecurity video with music, like with one of those sweet guitars behind you? I have never done one with some music in it. I've done some clips that I've put on LinkedIn or whatever of me just playing guitar and having a good time, just kind of kicking back and relaxing a little bit, unwinding from the stress of the day or whatever. So I have done that in the past, but I haven't done a video that has me playing music specifically. My setup isn't really for that. I'd have to do some finagling to make that happen, which is doable. But yeah, I mean, normally I just kind of fiddle around and play songs that, I'm sitting here thinking I have my Led Zeppelin shirt on still. I'm like, no, Daniel, that was last night. See, I told you I slept horribly last night. But yeah, that could be fun. That could be a good idea. All right, let's go back to the chat here. Let me see if I can find some other great questions. We got about 10 minutes to go. I'm sure some great questions are to be had. Just looking for those cues. Here we go. What do we got here? This one comes from Poner Joe. More of an update, really, Daniel. I'm happy to say that my new pen test job is still incredibly amazing. Thank you for the insight when I was first starting out. You're very welcome. I'm so glad to have been a part of your learning journey and hopefully a little bit a part of what has made you successful. You got that job. You've landed as a pen tester. Congratulations. We love to hear that people went from learning, applied that knowledge, did whatever they had to do, got an interview, landed the work, and now are satisfied in doing what it is that they're doing. Loving it every day, each and every day, having a great time. Man, that gives us all out there a little more hope that maybe this cyber journey will work out for the best for all of us. That'll be great. Let's see here. Oops. I love this Restreams chat. It's so confusing sometimes. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, here we go. One from Alicia Parkinson. Hello, Alicia. Good to see you this morning. Can you tell us more about Fish Farm? This is fun. So Fish Farm is a channel in our Discord, right? A way for us to kind of take phishing and make it a cultural thing and not necessarily a cerebral thing, if that makes sense. So this all stemmed from the other day. I was reading an article. Actually, it was a study. It was a study that was done with like 19,000 people or whatever over a period of like 8 months on whether or not they could teach people enough, like remediation, everything necessary. What can we do to stop people from clicking phishing links? And their conclusion was nothing. There's nothing we can do. And actually, they came to some conclusions where, in certain cases, and actually in a lot of cases, that more training, more traditional phishing awareness training was detrimental to the cause because it gave people a false sense of security. They thought, I know what a phishing link looks like, and they didn't. And then they clicked on more phishing links because they were sure that they'd get around it. And I thought to myself, maybe the problem isn't, maybe the problem is that this training that we've been doing traditionally on here's what typo squatting is, and here's what a phishing link looks like, and you can telltale signs of blah, blah, blah. And that's not working. Okay, so what do we do? Well, one of the things that we used to do for fun was we created like a Teams channel back in IT Pro TV where it was, hey, if you ever get an SMS message or you get an email that is sketchy in any kind of way, drop it in this phishing channel and, take a screenshot, drop it in. We can all kind of look at it. And then it's funny because that's how it started. But then it became this kind of cultural phenomenon where we all were poking fun at like, oh, can you believe that? Like, oh yeah, I'm sure our CEO needs me to go buy $5,000 worth of Amazon gift cards at Walmart. Like that doesn't make a lot of sense. So it became kind of fun and funny. It became a cultural thing. I'm like, that was so effective. That thing had stuff in it like daily. So I thought, hey, let's do the same thing in my Discord channel. So we have this new channel called Fish Farm. You go in, if you get a fish, drop it in the channel. Everybody can see it. We can have fun, poking fun at it. The memes galore. Think of the comedy gold that comes from making fun of fish lures. So it's a little fun had by all. Plus, it raises awareness. And if you start to bring in people and you do that with people that don't have the technical background that many of us do, right? Then they start to become a part of the fun. They start to pick it up. It's tribal. It becomes more tribal. While, yes, it is harder to get tribal knowledge around, it can be done. We just have to do the hard work of building that system and bringing those people in and making them a part of it, letting them know it's fun, it's engaging, and if you get a fish, we want to see it. It's going to be hysterical. If you clicked on the link, you can go, oh man, they got me with this one. And we go, oh, that sucks. Let's get some help over there. Make sure we get that cleaned up. Let's do a little help with that person. And we can see, oh yeah, I remember Dave Kennedy was telling, this was at Hackspace Con, not this year, but last year. He was keynoting and he showed a phishing email that he got. He was like, I'm not going to lie. This almost got me. This almost got me. Dave Kennedy from Trusted Sec, right? Like the dude himself. He was like, we are all going to get something that is just at the right time, just in the right way. We've been targeted just right. And it looks good. And we might make the mistake and click. So having something like this, I thought would be a great way to, and of course you do it with your friends and family. You start that and go, hey, you know what? I'm starting this thing. Maybe it's a text thread, maybe it's a signal thread. Maybe it's a whatever communication stuff, Facebook group. Do something, use those social media channels, build something, tell your friends and family to get a part of it so that they can learn. They're going to be excited about it. They're going to have a lot of fun. I guarantee it. It's super fun to do. So great question. I'm glad you brought that up, Alicia. I hope you enjoy that. And anybody who wants to check that out, my Discord, I don't have my Discord link here. Let me see if I've got that. I don't. Well, if anybody's got that, just go to my channel, look at one of the live shows. It's in the description of any of my videos. You can join my Discord there. All right, let's get that. Let me see what else is going on. We've got about 5 minutes to go. Here's a question from Moxie Blanc. I currently work as a system architect with a focus on cyber. What education post-college would you recommend for blending the two different paths together? Working as a systems architect focusing on cyber. What recommend for blending these two different paths together? That's a really good question. It's going to be a kind of a one size fits one solution, I think. It's going to be like what you're specializing in and then how you can bring cyber into that. I mean, and so when you're saying a systems architect, like think about the things that you're doing every day in your job and then how you incorporate cybersecurity into that role. Because unfortunately, with traditional IT roles, the good news is that here lately, if you're going through school, you're going through a program, you're going through training courses or things of that nature, they've definitely started bolting on more cybersecurity because it's become kind of a thing. And if you tell people there's cybersecurity into it, they'll go, cybersecurity, I'm coming to shut up and take my money. So there is that part of it, but there's also, that is a good thing that they do put cybersecurity awareness or some kind of training around those traditional IT roles in their training programs. But if you come from that back there, or you've been working in that role for some time, you are unique that you have the ability to really understand how cyber works together with your system architect role. So it's up to you to kind of build that, honestly, and make it as robust for yourself as possible. I would have to see what you're doing, how you're working, how, to give you more pointed advice. But, just stay on top of cybersecurity. Do things like watch Jerry's daily threat brief and read the news every day and see what kind of attacks are geared toward what you do in your role and understand those cyber mechanisms. What are the controls that can protect against those types of attacks? What does a threat surface look like? How does that impact the business? What is the risk? What are procedures? What can we do? Right. And then you just start blending those two things together. So that would be how you do that. And that's kind of just the everyday, like pragmatic way of working that in. I don't have a direct line of path in my mind for that one. I'd have to think on that, but yeah, hopefully that helps out. Let's see here. Moving on. Let's see. We got a couple of minutes left, and then we're going to push you guys over to the Cybersecurity Mentors podcast. Let's see. Any other good questions? Looking for a good question before we go. We got time for just one more. Come on. I just got to find one. Almost there. Okay. You guys are good. You're just having good chatter. Good chats today. Here's one. Tech Grunt says, already posted a fish news story in the Discord channel. Something worth discussing. Well, good to know. I know where I'm headed after we get done with jawjacking here today. I got to run over to our Discord and check out and see what Tech Grunt's got for us. So very cool stuff. And because phishing is just one of those things that, it's kind of how they do it. Anybody that works in cybersecurity or has done cybersecurity has known that you tell people, oh, I do cybersecurity. Invariably, every now and then you get that person that goes, can you hack into my blank person's Facebook account? Can you hack into their email? Can you hack into blah, blah, blah? And, obviously you go, I don't do that. But yes. And it's actually not that difficult. You send them a phishing link. They click on the phishing link. You are in. Right? Like that's how it's done much of the time. How do corporations get involved? Jerry ran a story about it this morning. I do believe. Phishing. They just click the fish. Uh-oh. I'm popped. That's no good. You become Rain Man. Uh-oh. For those of you that get that reference. I feel like that's one of those, like that's becoming an older movie at this point. Great flick though. Rain Man. Great flick. Very, very good. All right, let's see here. What else do we got? Oh, there's a question from AD Penguin. This will be our last one, and then we'll send you on your way. And having a great day here to the Cybersecurity Mentors podcast. When a bank uses a Visa or MasterCard, is it mandatory for PCI DSS certified? What about HIPAA standards? Is it mandatory for all healthcare centers or only in certain cases? With HIPAA, yes, that is absolutely mandatory. If you are a healthcare provider, you must comply with HIPAA. It is government regulation. PCI DSS is more of a gentleman's agreement between the card industry people. Last I checked, it is basically if you do not comply to PCI DSS, no one will play with you. No, you could take your ball and go home because no one's going to do business with you. So that's kind of how they work that out. And hopefully that answers your question quick, fast, and in a hurry. That is the end of Jaw Jacking. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Have a great time. Go check out the Cybersecurity Mentors podcast. And until next time, keep hacking.